Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. 2 WNBA games here on Tuesday, including a really early start, 11:30 a.m. on the East Coast there between the Mystics and the Sky. So I want to get this video out to you here a little bit early on Monday. Sweating out a couple bets right now, including Jordan Canada needs a couple more PRA, and then got a couple more for the later game. Had a really good day on Sunday as well. Went 4-1 there, made 4 units. Nice little come up there. Do want to remind you guys, if you want to jump into the VIP for free, give you a free month here, go ahead and sign up to any of the sports books that you see in the description of the video. Got the link to all of the ones that you just need to use code LYB. That'll go ahead and get you some free money if you don't yet have an account with a lot of the options that we have there for you. Go ahead and jump in. Let me know that you jumped into the VIP with that code, and I'll get you into the VIP Discord, get you a free month there. So hope to see you guys in there. But let's get into everything we've got here for Tuesday. Starting with that early game start here in Virginia, not even in Washington's normal arena there in DC. They're going to be in Virginia here for camp day. So this is going to be an early start. Really tough to play basketball before 1 p.m. local time. And if you look at the 7 games, or at least the 7 games that I looked at here so far, there might be a few more that started before 1 p.m. But in the 7 that I looked at, 6 of those went under 159.5, which is the total for this game. And they averaged about 147.5. So I'm really liking an under in this one, which makes me not really like too many options for over on the points. For example, this is 2 of the 3 worst offenses in the league, 12th and 11th, and so that's 2nd and 3rd worst in the WNBA this season for both these offenses. But maybe some rebounding props that we can get to here as we look at the starting lineups, though, real quick before we get into those props. This is going to be pretty much what we've seen, and the key thing here is Cardoso is out again. Elizabeth Williams will be starting at center for the Sky. Really, it's Angel Reese's paint. Williams hasn't even played, a full 25-30 minutes really much as she's been starting for Cardoso. But the key here is obviously Angel Reese, who we're going to take a look at, who has done incredibly well. And then the other side, we'll probably be looking at Austin as well, Shakira Austin. She finally started playing more minutes against the Sky in their last game here in June. So there's going to be some opportunity probably for her. But again, staying away from the points too much to the over. As always, going to be using Props Madness here on the show, the #1 sports betting research tool, especially for the WNBA. If you want to get in on this platform, go ahead and use code LYB when you sign up. That'll get you 25% off your first month. Also gets you 7 free days if you want to trial it out for yourself before you jump in and get in on it. But nothing compares when it comes to the WNBA in terms of the data that they're pulling through for you to help make your bets here in the W. The only thing I'm really liking here, like I said, a lot of the props are low for good reason. Don't like the tune of this game. I'm happy to take under 159.5. And so what I do like here is rebounds. And I think we can probably get a good number for Shakira Austin at 7.5. Still getting even money on the boards for her to go over that number against this squad. Like I said, if you look at these games here, she was playing less than 25 minutes a game right all before we get this game right here against the Sky. 27 minutes, I believe that was the first game she started. And then ever since then, it's been 30 minutes plus, a couple high 20s games, and then they had a bad game against the Lynx last game. Most of the starters didn't play the 4th quarter. So I still think at 7.5, if you look at her when she plays at least 25 minutes this season, not going to be many games, but when she does, she's up at 8.3 boards, including the 9 that she had in just 27 minutes. And that was with Cardoso playing, who had a really good game for the Sky there. She was battling and really actually took it to Shakira Austin on offense. But without her there, I think she's going to be in a much better position to help dominate, especially against Williams and the other sort of smaller players that aren't going to be able to hang with her down low. The points, yeah, I can see it, but I just think people are going to be off, man. And the points for her are still in a good spot at 14.5. So I wouldn't fault anybody for taking anything under 15 for her. But the boards, like I said, are what I'm eyeing in this particular matchup because of the misses. And obviously, that means we should be talking about Angel Reese, who had a really good game against them earlier when she scored 17 points, and that was with Cardoso dominating. Took 13 shots in that game. That's one of the only games she's taken double-digit shots outside of these last 3 to 4 without Cardoso, right? In these last 3 without Cardoso, we're looking at some really good numbers on offense too. So I think the points are still exploitable. But the rebounds speak to me, even at the high number of 13.5, going for 15 plus for plus money for her still looks pretty nice. You can see what she's done in the 3 games without Cardoso right now. And we're talking about a Washington team, again, really bad on offense. Both these teams are. So really expecting a lot of misses in this one. I'd be leaning towards just the rebounds for her. I'd probably be staying away from the points. But again, for both players, Reese and Shakira Austin, wouldn't fault you for taking over points for them as well. The later game here on the day is going to be the Aces in New York taking on this Liberty squad, which, I don't know, earlier in the season or definitely last season, over the last couple, I would tell you this is going to be an amazing matchup. But both these teams are struggling big time right now. Isabel Harrison, we should say, is questionable too for the Liberty. She left the last game where they lost and didn't make it back. That would just mean a few more minutes for Sabali, and for Burke as well, Kennedy Burke. So those two will probably get a few more minutes. But I also think it means maybe a bit more rebounding for Brianna Stewart without Izzy out there, who's definitely a good rebounder coming off the bench. That said, both these teams, like I said, struggling. Without Jonquel Jones this season, the Liberty are 4-5. We're going to take a closer look at how bad they are without her. And then the Aces, they played a bunch of games without Asia here, probably about 3 that she's missed. But in the last 10 games with her, versus teams that are not the Connecticut Sun, who are not a real team, they are 4-6. Some bad losses in there, including to the Sparks, have not looked like themselves at all. They have gotten better in the last 5 games, but in their last 5 games, they played the Sun twice. So I don't want to give them too much credit. And getting smacked by the Fever without Caitlin Clark, also not a good look. So both these teams struggling, but especially the Liberty, who are at least at home in this one, have been really good at home. But look at how much they missed Jonquel Jones, right? 8-1 with her, 4-5 without. The offensive rating goes up by almost 10 points per 100. The defensive rating goes up by about 14 points per 100. Not good. And they score about 8 fewer points per game as well without her. So pretty tough to back either of these teams. It's a pretty small spread. Have 166 total. They scored 170 in their first matchup. That was the first game of the season. But I do think there's a few overs that I like as we jump into these player props. After we get into the starting lineups real quick, we know what it's going to be, but I want to point out Nalissa Smith, playing power forward, had an awesome game in their last matchup, in the last game where she finally started for the Aces. She's going to be huge for them, and especially if they want to make sure that they can try to keep Stewie off the offensive glass, Nalissa Smith is going to be massive. Starting with Stewie here, as we jump into the props, I do like the Stewie stuff for both the points and the rebounds. Now, the rebounds are super high, right? This is not a number that she hits very often, but getting 8 against them in 27 minutes in the first game of the season with Jonquel playing, that bodes well, right, for her to be able to get towards the 10 or 9 that she needs in this game. I think I'm going to probably take the 9 over 8.5 or plus money, and then I'll also look at 10 plus or a double-double, rather, for a close to 2-1. If I can get close to 2-1, which right now it's about plus 175, going to see what happens here as things settle down and the market starts to get to a sort of stable place. We'll see what happens here on Tuesday before I make an actual bet on Brianna Stewart. But the double-double at 2-1, I'm liking. The points I got to get with as well. I do like both of those. I would be going over on those in a game with a pretty high total. Then the question becomes Sabrina and Natasha. Who do you trust more in this game, right? In the first matchup of the season, it was Natasha Cloud's game, right? We saw Sabrina play 31 minutes, but only shot 3 for 12, had Jackie Young draped all over her. Really tough matchup. The Aces give up the second fewest 3-point attempts per game. They're really good at limiting point guards in general and primary ball handlers with their really good on-ball defense mostly from Chelsea Gray, and especially from Jackie Young, right? So if that's a tough matchup for Sabrina, which makes you like Natasha a bit more, especially because, one, she did it. She took 17 shots in the first game of the season and put up the 22 points she has right there. Then you look at the last 4 games as she started to put up more shots, 11, 12, 12, and 8. Whereas in this range right here where she was losing, we're going under every single game, she didn't take more than 8 shots in any of these games right here. So it does seem like she's getting a lot more involved in the offense. The question is Sabrina going to come back in as she's finally pulled it together in the last 2 games and continue to take 18, 19, and all those types of shots? I would lean towards Sabrina, right? Even though the data says earlier in the year, Natasha did better, Sabrina has a tougher matchup. The fact that she's back up to 19 and 18 shots in these last 2 games tells me that she's really looking to continue to be aggressive. Because in this little 4-game stretch where she went under right here, she was coming back from injury, right? Didn't even play full minutes in a couple of these games and took no more than 15 shots in any of those games, actually taking only 9 shots in one of them. So the volume should be there more for Sabrina regardless of the tougher matchup, and 17.5 is still a very, very beatable number for her when she's averaging, and she should be considered about a 19 point per game player. This is the good edge here, but nothing saying we can't take both of them. Honestly, like, there's not going to be many players outside of these 3 taking a ton of shots. I would say Marina Johnson, we could take her, but she's not going to get props. So the books continue to be complete psychos and scammers on that. But as far as the other side of the ball, the only player I trust is Asia, and it's really because of the defense down low. The Liberty have been the worst paint defense without Jonquel this season. It's not even close. And so I do think Asia is going to continue her tear. We took an under for her in this game, but we knew it was going to be a blowout. She only played 24 minutes. This is going to be a lot more like the first game where she played 36 minutes, even though they lost by 14. Expect this one to be closer because I don't trust the Liberty right now. So I expect her to be up at the 20+ 30-plus shot mark once again. And if we look at her in the games where she's taken 20-plus shots this season, right, and that is my projection for her, 3 games, one of them she goes under, really bad performance against a really good defense down low. But again, this Liberty defense is very, very vulnerable in the paint right now. That's where Asia should be able to dominate. All right, y'all, that is all the time I have for you in this one. Should be back here with another 2 games. Going to have 2 games pretty consistently the rest of this week. So should be back with episodes for all these. But don't forget, if you want to jump into the VIP for a free month, go ahead and head to the description of the video. Got the links to the sports books that I'm partnered with. Use code LYB when you sign up and hit me up to let me know. I'll go ahead and get you that free month. Get all the picks I'm making, plus the VIP capper. So best of luck here on Tuesday. Till I see y'all next. Happy betting.